a young man came into my office just simply looking for a job. And I remember he had his pistol on him, and he said, look, he pulled his shirt up. He said, hey, Mr. Ricky, look, man, I heard you the only one out here to helping people like me. And he showed me his pistol. He said, if you don't help me get a job, bro, I'm just going out there and I'm finna do me.
Wow.
I'm finna do what I gotta do, and it is what it is. He reached in his back pocket. He says, this you, Ricky Brown? I fainted.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, I just fainted. My whole body just went blank, and I just fainted, man. I woke up, I was in a Union County jail in New Jersey, man. I ain't never see time, no more. For 13 years, I was gone, man. After that, they toted my ass to the car, man. Because when he said, boom, is this you, Ricky? He had my real ID. I knew then. It was over. I fainted. My whole body just went limp. And I heard him say, pick him up. Told him to the car.
We're here for the introduction of In and Out. It's a movement to change the world. It represents all things and all of us at all times. It's about freeing ourselves of any prison.
Welcome to In and Out Podcast, where I have dope conversations with amazing people who have been freed from some form of prison. I am Eric Gerald. And today, I'm talking to my guest, Ricky Brown, as he takes us along his incredible journey of overcoming struggle, pain, hardship, and traveling along that journey of how he achieved great success. What's happening, Ricky Brown?
What's up, man?
Today?
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Great.
I appreciate you for coming on.
Thank you. Glad to be here, man.
Absolutely. I appreciate you for taking the time out and having this conversation with us, so that you can give the people out there and all that's listening so much game, so that they can get educated, so that they can learn, so that they can grow, and so that they can be impacted and inspired. I want to give you an opportunity to tell us a little something about yourself, tell us what you're doing, and then we'll get into our conversation.
Okay, man. Well, my name is Ricky Brown. I'm the president and CEO of a company now called Next Step Staffing. Next Step Staffing is a staffing agency that assists ex-offenders when they come home from prisons to find jobs and housing, mainly jobs. I started that business helping ex-offenders because I'm an ex-offender. I served 13 years off of a 15-year sentence in federal prison. And just when I came home, man, after that time, I just couldn't get a job. It was kind of rough. So God gave me a vision one night: create your own job. And that's what I did. I kind of went and did a business plan and figured out the pay rate, bill rate. Wow. Just started that staffing agency, man. So, I tell people all of the time, sometimes in life, you have to be forced. You won't do it because you want to, you need to, and people telling you need to do better. Sometimes you have to be forced, kicked in the ass to do better.
Yeah, that's no joke. That's awesome. I commend you for doing that. Now, we don't really know each other personally, but we did meet at a job fair, I think, for the United States Attorney's Office.
I remember.
We was doing some community outreach work, and I was extremely impressed. And one of the things that I remember that you said, and I want to say it here, and then I want to ask you, where did that come from? How did you come up with it? But you were telling the audience and everybody that was there associated with it, you said they don't want to rob, they just want a job. And that's so true. I believe in that. Tell me, where did that come from? How did you come up with that moniker?
Well, it came from a young man came into my office just simply looking for a job. And I remember he had his pistol on him, and he said, look, he pulled his shirt up. He said, hey, Mr. Ricky, look, man, I heard you the only one out here to helping people like me. And he showed me his pistol. He said, if you don't help me get a job, bro, I'm just going out there and I'm finna do me.
Wow.
I'm finna do what I gotta do, and it is what it is. So I've calmed him down. I said, hey, bro, this is what we gonna do. First of all, you gotta give me that pistol. You're not sitting here talking to me, asking me for shit with that pistol. Let me get the pistol, and then I'll make some calls and get you a job, okay? He said, he bucked for a minute. He said, Mr. Ray, you gonna take my work, man, blah, blah, blah. He finally gave me his pistol. I put it in my drawer, and I got on the phone, and he ended up working over there at the King Center for Dr. Bernice King.
Wow.
He's cleaning out the crib, man. And I remember when he was getting his first check after I helped him get that job, he used to come by the office and offer me, hey, Mr. Rick, you need something? Because it was just the change in him from the time he came into my office and from the time he started making money. It was just a total big difference. And I just realized, man, just something as simple as a job could have saved his life and somebody else's life. He didn't want to rob. He just wanted a job.
He just wanted a job. It makes so much sense. And, obviously if we could just get more people to buy into that and understand, we don't need to be locking up so many of our youth, destroying so many families, destroying generations one to the next. If they would just understand that if we give people concrete opportunities, because at the end of the day, no matter if we're black, white, Hispanic, Oriental, it doesn't matter what your political affiliation is. At the end of the day, my experience has told me, and it sounds like yours has told you, we can disagree on some things, but there's more things that bring us together. There's more things that we're gonna agree with. And number one, everybody just wants to be able to take care of their family.
That's all, man. And it goes even deeper than that. And I think I've been able to show people and bring the humanality to people like myself. I remember going down in Rockdale County and speaking up for a young man.
Rockdale County.
Yeah.
It's Conyers, right? Covington.
Yeah.
I know that area.
And his parents called me, want me to come speak up for him in the courts and try to, help the judge be a little lenient on him. And I spoke to the judge. I said, Judge, I said, sometimes locking them up and throwing away the key is not always the answer. And I spoke very highly of this young man. I promised that I would give him a job. And the judge stopped the court. He said, come back here in my office. He called me back into his chambers. He said, I heard about you over there in Atlanta. He said, and I like your work. He said, I'm going to give this young man to you. And I'm going to give him to you because I have a son.
Wow.
That's in and out of jail, on drugs. He said, the sad part about it, another judge, another man is getting ready to sentence my son this morning at the same time.
Wow.
So he gave me that young man, and I was there to help him. So, man, it's all about, there's some good in the worst of us. So I just try to convince people to find that, man, and give people a second chance. And that's just what I do.
That is awesome. You're finding the good in the worst of us, and many people they state it, that they believe that there's good in everyone, but a lot of times in the courtroom, especially in lower income neighborhoods and dealing with people that might be of our complexion that look like us, it's sad to say, but it doesn't seem like the criminal justice system is meeting out those sentences based on those qualities that you're talking about that are in all people, the goodness. How long, you might have stated this earlier, how long have you had your staffing agency?
I started my staffing agency in 2010.
Okay, wow.
I had come home in 2006. Just went through that period of, just couldn't get a job, couldn't really, contemplating on getting back in the streets and hustling and doing what I had to do to get some money because, that little $7 at that time, $7 and some cent an hour. I said, what the fuck?
Right.
What you
gonna do with that?
What I'm gonna do with that? But it was cool. But I thought it was cool because I worked in Unicor.
Okay.
And when I was in federal prison.
What was you making? 90 cents, 80 cents?
Man, about $80 a month. Okay. And they've taken half of that for my fine. You remember?
I already know.
So, going through a lot of that, man, my staffing agency, I started in 2010 because I just couldn't make a living. So I figured it out. I came up with my business plan. I remember laying in my cell in prison for many, many years and saying that this is what I wanted to do.
Wow.
So you have to put in place what you want to do, even when you're in the worst place in your life, even when you're at your lowest. Because the true test of a man's character is his ability to overcome adversity. So I believed in that, that failure was not an option for me anyway. And I try and instill that with my staffing agency. So my staffing agency is a staffing agency that started in 2010. It's a staffing agency with a cause. That's why people can't steal it.
Wow.
People come in, oh man, what you doing? I see you making money with your staffing agency. They try to figure. I said, the only way you can steal my business, you got to go to jail.
I already know.
And you don't want to go there.
That sounds similar. That reminds me of something Mike Tyson said before. He said, it's hard being me. people look at what you're doing and they look at the accolades.
Yeah.
You're a multimillionaire now, and they probably look at it and say, man, Ricky Brown, I want to be like him. Maybe in some respects, but really, do you really?
Do you really want to go through the sacrifices that I had to go through? I done had to go through a lot of stuff in my office, helping, the group like myself. Had guys come that was, if you was in prison, you remember there was guys that they were the commissary, they were the store man.
Right.
You had to give them 2 for 1. If you got a honey bun back, you got to bring 2 honey buns back.
I was store man.
So I understood
I was a bookie. I was all of the above.
So, I understood that, but I have a lot of guys, had a couple of guys come and, was kind of jealous because a couple of times, one guy came, I had bought a Maserati, just riding around because I was making money. I figured it out. I figured out pay rate and bill rate. And people would come to me and say, man, I heard you selling Negroes, man. I said, no, I'm just a business. You have to realize that in the group that I was helping, 700,000 ex-offenders are released from jails and prisons every year nationwide, state and federal.
Wow.
700,000.
That's incredible.
Over the years. So that simply means you have more ex-offenders on the streets of America than you have in the U.S. Armed Forces combined. Because we are the majority. Because it's not a black and white thing.
That's right.
He could be an ex-offender, you ex-offender.
100%.
So we have to be very careful when you displace and underserve that group of people. We're the sleeping giants. We're the sleeping, the ones that people don't realize that if it was to kick off, because if you remember, in federal prison, it's on the books. If a civil war was to break out on U.S. soil,
that's right.
We all inmates ought to be executed.
We're in trouble.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, it's on the books.
That's right.
So
immediately.
So that's on the books for a reason. They know we would go against.
That's right.
A lot of things that the government may be doing. So we're the first ones that will be executed. The guards, their job is to come through every room and gun us down.
That's right.
And then their job go out and fight the war in the civil system. So we all know what's going on. We all know the system. I know it. I've lived it. I was in 2 years in the hole, didn't speak for 2 years, but I knew I was thinking. A couple times they bring my tray, I throw it back at their ass when I was in the hole. Because I was mad. I was a mad man. I was angry,
I already know.
Yeah.
I did 3 months in the hole, but 2 years is unbelievable. I want to say this, those words that you say, they absolutely ring true. They're factual, and it's a very sobering analysis of what's going on. Many people don't know that about if a civil war broke out, but I knew it. So to hear you say it, it brings back a lot of the things that I learned and that that you experienced when you're in there. I want to ask you, how many ex-offenders, or should I say, returning citizens? How many returning citizens have you employed, or do you employ?
Over 600.
Wow.
Since I've been in business, over 600.
You're making a difference.
We're doing our part, man. I'm just doing my part. I think the thing is, if everybody just do their part, we'll be a better world. I'm just doing my part. Maybe I was forced to do it. Maybe God has put me through whatever I had to go through to be where I'm at now to do what I'm doing. We've helped over 600 men and women. I remember when my big contract was Airmark. Wow. We had over 80 people working, cleaning up the Atlanta public schools. But one of my biggest accomplishments, man, is when we hired a group of men, about 100 of them, to build the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Nice.
When they broke the ground at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, I was reminded of, a lot of gentrification was going on around me at that time. Okay. They're just buying up property and, not giving nobody no jobs. So I got political on their ass. I said, listen, this Kasim Reed was the mayor at that time.
Okay. All right.
I had about 100 guys meeting me at my office in the parking lot. I said, and all y'all bring your Falcon jerseys. They said, what the fuck is you doing, Mr. Rick?
I like that market.
So what are you doing? I said, bring your barrel. I told my man, I said, bring your barrel too. He said, shit. Got them all together. Joe Beasley was with me. We was getting ready to march. I said, if you don't give us you're not going to come into the poorest community in this city and build a $2 billion building in the faces of poor people.
Wow.
It reminded me of the crack law. I'm always about fighting for those that can speak and fighting for those that can fight for themselves. I said, so if you don't give us no jobs, we're gonna march from my building to that stadium before you break ground, and guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna burn Falcon jerseys in front of your stadium.
Wow.
That's what we're gonna do.
Wow.
So they called me and calmed me down, blah, blah, blah. Rick, we got a meeting with you to give you some jobs, blah, blah, blah. So we didn't march that day because they did. I told the guys it's all about getting jobs. So they was mad because they ready to go.
Right.
So, sometimes, man, you have to fight. If you don't stand for something, you'll go for anything.
Right.
And I just believe in every generation, there's somebody that will stand up for those that can't stand up for themselves.
Well, that is awesome, and it's super impressive. You said earlier you don't know if it was if God made you do it or if you was forced to do it, but in my mind, it's a difference without a distinction. You making a difference, and that is to be commended. That's excellent. I want to, earlier you said you've been through a lot and you've seen a lot, and it's not necessarily easy being Ricky Brown. Somebody might not necessarily want to walk in your shoes, before they say, oh, I want to be like Ricky Brown, because they might see the Maserati or they might see the flash, but they don't really see the hard work and all of the pain and labor that's gone on through the years.
Well, and not only that, it's a lot of hate could be coming along with the guys come home from prisons. Some of them, they like what I do, they appreciate what I do, but what I do, even the haters gotta love it. But there's sons that get jealous.
Right.
And that hate comes out of them, and they'll try you. And when I done had guys come to my office and tried me, and I had to, handle my business.
Right.
Now, like I was telling you about this one guy, he was a store man in prison. He came to my office, and I had my Maserati at that time. He was like, "Yo, man, every Friday he looking at me all crazy. What the fuck are you looking at me like that for, bro? Well, you straight up, so you cool?
Where's your farm, dude?
What you do? Nah, man, we need to talk. I said, okay. Friday, come to my office, we'll talk. He come to my office on Friday. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, man, I said, come on back in my office, man. Let's talk. Yeah, man. I said, oh, you good? He said, nah, man, you riding around in Maserati. I heard you getting money, and you right here giving me $15 an hour. I said, hold up. I said, let me make sure I understand what you're doing before I respond. I said, nigga, is you pressing me? Is that what you call yourself doing? And about 20 guys out there waiting for their checks.
Right.
And they heard him back there, rah, rah, rah. I said, nigga, you ain't in jail no more.
Right.
Ain't no shanks out here, nigga. There's pistols out here, long ones.
Right.
I said, so, man, this is what I'm going to do. You trying to make me give you some money. What do you think I'm going to give you? I said, first of all, I ain't giving you nothing. This is what we're going to do. See, I have to get rough with him sometime. I have to go street with him sometime.
You have to.
So I took his check. I said, now you ain't getting this shit. I'm going to mail it to you. This is how business go. Your last check, you're fired.
Right.
Your last check will be mailed to you, And you get rah. By that time, he jumped up, and I had them, them guys from up front. They up there, no, you've not been messing with Mr. Ricky. This man got our money right now. And they jacked him up. Man, get these niggas off me, blah, blah, blah. So I done been through those type of situations, man. People trying you,
wow.
but just a few weeks ago, even now, man, at my age, I'm 63 years old, man.
Wow, impressive.
And the guys are still trying. I remember a few weeks ago, a guy, I get a lot of guys that come and invest into their future, and I'll be like, I help campaigns. I help a lot of people campaign.
Okay.
I might donate to their campaign. If you feel like that's what I'm doing, how to do it, you think that you donated too. So I had one guy, he donated to a couple of campaigns that I donated.
Right.
The candidate lost. So you can't come back to me and say, hey, man, your folks lost, man. I see you still going on, but, I need to get that money back that I donated to that campaign. I said, bro, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. Oh, no, I'm finna check them pockets tonight.
Wow. Tonight? Holy cow.
I'm finna check them pockets tonight. I said, bro, don't do that. Go ahead on now.
This ain't really what you want.
I said, please, leave me alone. So I got ready to walk away. He look me in the eye, nigga, look me in the eye. And he grabbed me by my throat.
Holy shit.
And bruh, only thing I could just remember just going black. And I remember knocking his hand down from my throat and just doing what I had to do. And at my age, I hate to even have to do that. But boy, I still got it. Oh man, I'm decent.
And he had to find out the hard way.
Oh yeah, and broke his jaw, his knee broke because it gave out on him, But I hate that I had to do that, man. But I have to also let people know I'm not nobody to play with.
Right.
You don't play with me, okay? I'm out here to live my life. I want peace. If you bring any drama around my life, I'm gonna deal with it exactly how you bring it. I'm gonna deal with the same energy you bring. Be ready for that same energy reciprocated back.
Right, ain't no doubt. You had to do what you had to do.
And that's how I live. I had to do that in prison. You had to, you can't just be around here being soft.
Right.
And you definitely ain't gonna put your hands on me.
Right.
When you do that, I heard he was trying to sue me. I said, listen, man, this is a stand your ground state.
That's right.
State of Georgia.
And you stood your ground.
When you put your hands on me, I had a right to defend myself.
Absolutely, you felt that.
That's why your jaw broke. So anyway.
So that's a good story. I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is, man. I hate to be like that. I don't want to be like that. I don't try to be like that. I try to, keep it business. But, in the business that I'm in, and, it's just certain things will happen, especially guys come home and they remember you from prison, then they can't, separate the difference.
Right. Well, it sounds like you did what you had to do. He didn't leave you any other options.
No.
I want to, so you're doing amazing things right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's established. There's no doubt. And, I can't commend you enough. And thank you.
Thank you.
Because there's a lot of individuals that come home, and if they don't have a job, they're going to go back to what they know how to do best. And whether that's robbing, selling drugs, or whatever it is,
that's right.
You keeping a lot of that from happening. I want to go back, though, to the beginning. Not like, tell me about your first, I want to ask you about your first day going in. What were you locked up for? How much time did you get? Do you remember the first day you went to prison?
I remember my first day. Well, I went on the run for about 8 months before I went into prison.
Okay, well, tell us the charges and give us a little bit of that background.
Drug conspiracy.
Well,
Drug conspiracy back in, it was, I got caught up in the 94 crack law, if you remember that. Written by Joe Biden and his cohorts.
Right.
And so that law locked up a lot of men and women. It locked up over 4 million of us. We only had, a little over 800,000 slaves in 1860.
Wow.
Shit, that law took us back about 400 years, because, I go all the way back to those days, man, when I was locked up and how I felt. And, I deal with my life one day at a time, one day at a time, and I just try to do my part,
Now doing that, you were selling drugs back then, but tell me.
I was selling drugs.
Tell me a little,
It was a drug conspiracy. Okay. I'm Doodoo Brown. I'm the real Doodoo Brown.
Okay.
I was running the DJ at Magic City back in the early 80s.
Right. And for y'all that don't know, Doodoo Brown was a song that was put out by 2 Live Crew, one of the biggest rap groups of that era out of Miami. And so when they were rapping about Doodoo Brown, this is the man, this is the original, this is the real Doodoo Brown.
And that came from Magic always be calling me. I was doing this, I was doing that.
Magic, the owner of Magic City.
The owner of Magic City. And he was at that time my best friend. So we was very close. My case was, we was on trial together.
You and Magic? Wow.
Me and Magic were co-defendants. We were co-defendants. They gave him, I think he got 10 years. I ended up getting, 188 months. Wow. So it's 15 years and some months. So,
Jesus.
And that's because I didn't snitch on him. They wanted me to tell on him. People when they come saying all this whole stuff now, if I'd have told on him, I'd have got 18 months.
Wow.
But instead, I didn't do it.
He's one of the real ones.
Yeah. But, I think about it, I'm not mad about it. It was what it was. It is what it is, gonna be what it's gonna be. But that was, my drug charge was a conspiracy to sell drugs, and they had no drugs on me. There was no guns found on me. There was no phone tap because you basically didn't have no phones back then.
Wow.
It was just, a bunch of guys got caught, and they decided to tell on me. Now I was in the game, but I wasn't with the game that the guys that told on me.
Right.
I was getting my package here in Atlanta and shooting it to North Carolina, where I was from, and doing my thing. I never sold drugs here in Atlanta.
Right.
So when that happened, it kind of threw everything off because guys just, you could just say anything back then with the conspiracy law. And I could say, hey man, I sold him drugs and getting somebody to back me up, 2 or more agree, then I'm gone.
Right.
And that was the way it was back then. But hopefully it can't happen anymore.
Right.
But that was a lot of men like myself got locked up.
Right.
Take away from their families and communities.
Wow. And, just for a side, just some information for anyone that's listening. As you said, there was 800,000 enslaved people in what year?
1860.
In 1860. So let that sink in for a minute. The 13th Amendment, and it reads, shall be abolished except when duly convicted in a court of law by a jury of your peers. So in fact, inmates nowadays are de facto slaves. It really is, offenders and anyone that's in prison really are the new slaves in America. So how much time were you given? And,
I was given 188 months.
188 months.
188 months. That's like 15 years and some months. And so you got to do 85% of that. Now also what happened during that time when I first went to prison, the crack law bill was coming up in Congress. And I'm just getting fresh in prison, man. I just got 188 months. First of all, like I said, I went on the run for 8 months. When they found the marshals,
for 8 months.
I went on the run for 8 months. Marshals finally caught up with me in New Jersey. I'm still, out here popping, doing my thing. I went to, I think, St. Thomas. I was just on the run, man. I was on a train. I never rode the airplane. I was just moving, man.
How was that life, though? I mean, what was the stress level like? I mean,
when I was on the run?
Yes, when you were on the run.
Man, when I was on the run, man.
Did you have a
I started a lot of
cocaine
back then.
Okay.
I started a lot of cocaine, so that kind of kept me calm. But what it did,
it kept you calm.
It kept me calm, but it also made me nervous.
Oh, God,
I would call in. I would get high on the run, and I'd call in. I'd say, "Hey, call into the marshal's office. Hey, I'm ready to turn myself in." High as hell. And so then when the shit comes down, I'm gone. Right. I get on another plane, man.
Did I really do this? Let me get the hell out of here.
I remember when I went to Chicago, man, I was trying to get my passport, get a new passport. I had changed my name. My new name at that time now was Stephen Avery Bias. I had changed, got a new passport, got a new name and everything. So I remember when I finally got caught, I had got a job in New York at this strip club. I had a girl on the run with me. Her name was Simone.
Wow.
She was on the run with me. She was like my Bonnie and Clyde.
Nice.
And she started working at a strip club in New York, and she told the owner, "Hey, my boyfriend, he's good on the microphone, So he gave me a job. Cash, $700 a night.
Oh.
And she was dancing, I was the DJ, just like I did at Magic City.
Right.
But I kind of kept it. And they said, the owner said, "Hey, I know you know some more girls, man. So I called this one girl, Sexy Red. I remember calling. Sexy Red. I said, "Hey, you want to come out to New York and dance? They got some good money out here for you."
Right.
And she said, "Okay, send me the address." Sent her the address. By 6 o'clock in the morning, boom, boom, boom. It was the U.S. Marshals.
Holy shit.
They were looking through the peephole of the mail when I was staying with a friend of mine. I finally let them in because I figured, hey, I got new ID. They don't know who I am.
Right.
They finally came in. I said, they said, "Oh, you here by yourself?" I said, "Yes, sir." I said, "You have any weapons or anything with you?" I said, "No, sir." "What's your name?" And I said, "Stephen Avery Bias."
With 100% confidence.
Yeah, confidence. I'm standing on,
Right.
Stephen Avery Bias is my name.
Why do you ask?
Yeah, I showed him my new driver's license, Stephen Avery Bias. He said, "Okay." He looked around. He reached in his back pocket. He says, "This you, Ricky Brown?" I fainted.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, I just fainted. My whole body just went blank, and I just fainted, man. I woke up, I was in Union County Jail in New Jersey, man. I ain't never see time, no more. For 13 years, I was gone, man. After that, they toted my ass to the car, man. Because when he said, "Boom, is this you, Ricky?" He had my real ID. I knew then. It was over. I fainted. My whole body just went limp. And I heard him say, pick him up. Told him to the car. I remember when they first took me back for sentencing, man, my lawyer, he said, "Man, you went on the run." He said, "Ricky," he said, "they said every time they would get somewhere for you, he said, you had just left." He said, "Is it true that you came to Magic City while you was on the run?"
Is it?
It is true. See, I was on the run, right? So I was on the run. So what I did, I had,
how'd you do it?
Fake beard. I had a fake beard at that time. I went and bought that.
You had a disguise.
I had a disguise. I had a hat on. So I went, I had a layover. I was going to Jacksonville from Chicago. I was going to Jacksonville. I went on the Amtrak. So, just chilling, so it had a layover here in Atlanta. I said, damn. So I had to get me a room. So I got a room out in Cobb County. And I said, shit. Got bored that night. I said, fuck it. I'm going to Magic City. I'm on the run now.
Right.
I'm on the run.
And I know they
I know they're looking
heavily watching Magic because that's where they knew you was at.
So I get in the cab and get the cab drive me up there. And I go to the back door and I go right through the back door. My cousin was the DJ. And he came to the door. He opened the door at the back of Magic City. I said, boy, you know who I am? He looked at me. He said, Doo-doo. He's, oh man, you crazy, bro.
Yes.
Fucking crazy. I said, shut up, man.
Right.
So I went on in Magic City, sat down and right back by the DJ booth in a little corner. And this girl named Jazz was a dancer. Bless her heart, she's dead now. She came up and she said, can I have a dance? I ain't say nothing. I just said, shook my head go ahead. She dancing, doing her thing. And then she looked at me, she said, is that you, Ricky Brown?
Holy cow.
It was in my eyes. She knew me by eyes. Because me and her used to date it. She said, is that you, Ricky? I said, shh. She said, boy, she's a day in here right now.
Are you crazy?
She said, are you freaking? She said, they looking for you. She said, oh my God. She said, they right over there. They looking for you. I said, oh shit. I said, okay. I said, just calm down. She said, okay, I'll be right back. I'm going downstairs and change. I'll be right back. And when I saw her go down them steps, I was back out the door, back in the cab. Went on.
And you was gone?
I was gone, man. That was crazy.
And they must have found out later.
They found out later.
Because they asked you about it.
And they said, man, is it true that you went to Magic
Who
City?
asked you? Was it
my lawyer?
Your lawyer. That's
yeah,
what
I guess the agents prosecutor had told him that I went back to Magic City and had and just chilled. And I did it. And I said, yeah, I did it. And they was tripping. But they said every time you went somewhere, we went to get you, you was just left.
Man, that's an incredible story. It's like Catch Me If You Can.
Catch Me If You Can, man.
I like it.
So I went on in, man. When I finally got caught, I went in, I did my time. I did my time like a man and came home and ended up, coming home and being successful. So I'm excited about life, man.
That's awesome, man. You seem like the energy, man. I'm excited every day. People just don't know. If you so I got a thing. I say when you go to prison or when you go through any type of adversity, this is a decision that you're gonna have to make personally with yourself.
That's right.
You could either come out bitter or better.
That's right.
Ricky Brown is no doubt that you definitely came out better.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, when did that mindset change or that transition start to take place? Earlier, I know you mentioned that when you were in there lying on your bunk, you made a determination that you were gonna, you were gonna create jobs for other people when you got out.
Yeah.
But how long did that take? How far into your sentence did you start? What type of things did you go through that enabled you to be able to grow from such a negative experience? Because I say, in all negative things, you got to be able to find the positive to take out of it. And it seems that you did that. Tell me a little something about that.
Well, it came in the last 6 years of my sentence. Those first years were rough, especially those first 10 years. It was rough, man. I was doing what I had to do in prison, to get by. But those last 6 years, they sent me to Coleman, Florida.
Oh, you were in Coleman?
Coleman FCC.
Wow.
The warden there, he was Carlisle. His name was Carlisle Holder. He was the warden at that time.
Carlisle Holder.
And so, but I was still in the hole. When they sent me there, I was still in the hole before they put me on the. Remember, I just after the ride, I was in the hole for 2 years.
Oh, wait, now let me back you up. Can I back you up a little bit? I don't want you to lose your train of thought. But what riot, and then what? Why were you in the hole? How long were you in the hole? Where did it start off? Where was the riot?
I was in the hole for 2 years. I forgot about that. When I was in the hole for 2 years, because in 1995 there was the '95 crack law riot that kicked off in Talladega, Alabama.
Talladega, Alabama. Wow.
Talladega, Alabama. Medium.
Okay.
That happened in 1995. They was voting to drop the crack law sentence into 100 to 1 to make it reasonable. So a lot of guys was thinking, okay, I'm coming home. If they pass this law, man, I'm coming home.
Okay.
Because 100 to 1 is not right.
Okay.
The only thing we didn't put baking soda with it. We didn't put nothing with it, and I didn't even do that. I sold keys. I never sold no crack.
Wow.
But we had guys get on the stand and say that.
It was crack.
But yeah, man.
So they had false hope. All these people.
Yeah, they had false hope. We had false hope. When they voted it down, you had Maxine Waters, you had Jesse and Jackson, and you had Clinton, and Joe Biden wrote the bill.
Maxine Waters wrote the bill?
No, Joe Biden wrote the bill, but he was pushed to do it by people in our community like Maxine Waters.
Maxine Waters was a supporter of that bill?
Oh, of course.
Definitely. And Jesse Informant Jackson?
Yes.
Wow.
They were the one pushing it. Go into our communities and save our children. That was the mindset they was put into Joe Biden and Clinton. Hey.
Right.
And that's when they came up with this crack law. And that crack law, it locked up a lot of men. It turned up a lot of families and friends.
Ravaged our communities.
And ravaged our children. Young men grew up with no fathers, all but simply because of a drug that we didn't bring here, that we never flew a plane.
All because of a lie.
All because of a lie. So, so that 94 crime bill, man, really, took us back 400 years. I would say.
So how did the riot start? I mean, I know that.
It was going through the TV room.
Okay.
At that night.
TV room.
It was in the TV room that night before. We knew they was voting on it that day. So it was on a Wednesday night. And so we just kind of plotted, man. I said, this is what we're going to do. I said, if they don't vote the crack law, they.
You said that?
Yeah, I told them. I was charged with orchestrating the whole thing.
Oh my!
I told the guys,
goodness.
I said, man, if they pass this law, if they shoot this law down, bro, we got to tear this motherfucking prison up.
Holy cow!
So and everybody agreed. So shit, I said, what I do? We got to do it on a Thursday. So tomorrow's Thursday. In the federal system, on Thursdays it's fried chicken day.
That's right.
So don't do this shit before we get our chicken, because once we do it, we gone. We out of here. We going on diesel therapy.
Let's get our chicken first.
Let's get our chicken first. And try to get you a couple pieces to take to your cell with you.
Right.
So I said, we got to go to the rec yards, put our hoods on, and get the bats, and just start busting out the windows.
Holy.
And that's exactly right after the 4 o'clock count, and the last call for child. That's when,
That's when it went down.
That's when it went down. They hit that first Unicorn one. It busted so loud it sounded like a bomb on the compound. The officers hit their panic button.
Right.
They run toward. Then they see all of us with these masks on, with these bats. They ran. So they ran off the compound.
The officers.
They
was out of there.
Yeah, we took over that whole compound for hours. I had the golf cart for the medical. I was riding around. I had one of the police radios. I said, yeah, I want some McDonald's. I was talking shit. I was just talking crazy in the radio. And so we just rode around, took over the prison. Then they brought in the National Guard. When they brought those National Guards in, it was a different game.
Right.
When I saw them, I went on to my cell and laid down.
And you was a leader, but you wasn't no dummy. It sounds like you was a leader in the streets and then you was a leader in prison. They identified you as a leader, organizer from the streets to the suites. And now you leading people to jobs and leading them to the promised land by, giving them situations that they could perform. That's no joke. So once they identified you as the leader organizer, what happened to you? How'd they punish you? Because I know they punish you severely when they do something like that.
I ended up getting that extra 2 years on my sentence. We had to go through court and all that, in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
Because we're in Talladega.
They weren't gonna play with you in Alabama.
So we got but they did run it consecutively, so it wasn't ran wild or anything
Okay.
like that.
That's good.
But I did 2 years in the hole. 2 years in what they call diesel therapy.
Diesel therapy.
Well,
What is that?
That's when you go to this prison. You might be there for 2 days. 4 o'clock in the morning. Boom, boom, boom. Brown, pack it up. You got to go through all that, mess up your sleep. Go to another prison. You might get there 2 days from now. Might be there a month, just in the middle of the night. It's just kept moving you around. And that's what they call diesel therapy. So I ended up in Beaumont, Texas.
Let me ask you before you got to Beaumont and this diesel therapy, and I don't think a lot of y'all really understand what this diesel therapy is. So you moving around? How they moving you around? How you getting transported? What's it
Planes. Federal system, they taking planes, buses. We would go through a center in Oklahoma. Once you go through there, that's when you transitioning from one side of the country to another. You always go through Oklahoma. So I went to Oklahoma several times. I remember going to, like I said, ended up going to Beaumont, Texas. That was one of my punishments. We opened up that prison, so they
Bloody Beaumont.
Bloody Beaumont. They wanted to send the baddest of the bad. So I was after that riot, I was labeled as a rioter.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so that law really put a lot of things on your jacket. When you went through the system, they knew who you was. And so when I finally went to prison in my last 6 years, man, after going through all of that, I sat last year, I went to Coleman, Florida. A warden came through the hole, and I'm laying in my cell. He knocked on the window. He said, Brown. And he said, Brown, the warden's at the window. So, because I wasn't even going to get up. He said, you Ricky Brown, you bad motherfucker.
That's what he said to you?
Yeah, you bad motherfucker. He said, you the one that tore up all our prisons across the country.
He said, like it's personal.
I said, well, I don't want no problem. That time I'm chilling. I'm laid down. I'm chilling, man. He said, are you ready to chill out now? I said, I'm fine, Warden. I don't want no problem. He said, I'm going to let you back on the compound.
Oh,
I'm gonna let you
after
see
2 years.
I'm going to let you see a compound. Something. I said, okay, I appreciate it. He said, now, let me tell you something. I'm going to be watching you, and don't you tear up my prison. If you tear up my prison, you'll never see daylight again. I said, you got that, Warden. So he let me out on the compound my last 6 years, and I ended up being the DJ for the compound.
Get out of here.
I was on the record. Yeah, I worked in Unicor, and I was a DJ for the compound. I was a play-by-play announcer for all of the basketball games,
that's
all
nice.
of the football games and softball games, and he even built me a box because he came on the yard one day, the warden, and he heard me doing play-by-play, and he saw all the guys was calm and they was chilling with the music, and he told the lieutenant, "Hey, the warden want to talk to you." So I went over there, and he said, "How'd you learn how to?" He asked me, "How'd you learn how to do that?" I said, "Well, I was in radio, before I came to prison." He said, "How can you make that better?" I said, "I need a box, a studio box with wheels on it, make it red, and put on the side of it Doodoo Brown Production." I was just talking shit.
Right. And he made it happen.
And they locked the compound one day, right before trial, and said, "Ricky Brown, report to the lieutenant's office." And as I was walking down the corridor, the guys looking out the window, damn, he going to go snitch on somebody. What the fuck?
Right, why they calling him?
Yeah, why they calling him like that? But, I got closer to the lieutenant's office. They rolled this red box out of the lieutenant's office. He said, "The warden had this built for you. Go out there and do your thing." And they gave me my own CDs that we wasn't here, because we had headphones, listening to radio.
Right.
But they would bring me CDs and radio and for things we could play on the rec yard and stuff. So that's kind of how I did my time, man. Did my time.
Wow, that's when the mindset change happened. It sounds
That's
like
when the
the
mindset
warden
changed.
really started to respect you.
Yeah, because I would always get on the microphone and I would always just talk just like I'm on the radio. It's like, we'd have shows. Even having the warden, he'd come out there. I'd have him in the studio. I'd talk to him. People come in. I'd have like a radio show right there live on the rec yard. And after that, no fights, no stabbings, all of that calmed down. They would all, the guys, "Hey, Ricky, play Doodoo, play my music, man. Play this song. Play." I mean, what's the macros at? Honey buns at.
Right, you gotta pay. You gotta pay to play.
So that's how I used to keep my commissary pack. I would
And
play
that's dope.
guys' music, man, for them, and they played a certain song. They'd give me some macros or some soups or whatever, man.
That's dope.
Yeah, so it was cool.
That's dope. So you started putting together your plan when you was gonna get out.
I started putting together my plan then, man, and ironically, I do the exact same thing now as I did in prison for the mayor as well, for the mayor of Atlanta. I do midnight.
The current mayor.
Yeah, current mayor, Andre. I work for him now. I'm the play-by-play announcer for Midnight Basketball.
Are you?
Yes.
Wow.
We matter of fact, we got a game tonight.
Where's it at?
At C.T. Martin Recreation Center on Martin Luther King.
Okay.
And this
Is that midnight though?
No, it starts at 7.
Okay.
Starts at 7. But that program, Midnight Basketball, this is my 6th season for being the play-by-play announcer for Midnight Basketball, and man, it's been amazing. When we started Midnight Basketball, they was getting 30 calls in that district. And I had the police chief to come on the actual podcast that I have at the Midnight Basketball. He said, "You guys have went from 30 calls to 3 calls." Because now we got these kids doing something.
They're doing something. So that's what it. So what is midnight basketball?
You got kids from 14 to 24.
Okay.
We even have women's team now. We got 12 women's team and 12 men's team. They just go out and they compete, man. They win a championship. They win championship rings. They win championship trophies. And you know, we have a lot of services at the games as well, where they can get jobs, get the free haircuts, free food, you know, free services that they normally won't just get anywhere. So it's a great program that the mayor's put together for midnight basketball in the community, man, and it's just been amazing. It's been amazing.
That is very good. I got to come check that out.
Yeah, come check that out. You'll like it.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
So when you plotting, not plotting, but you know, you're planning. You know, I'm coming home. You start putting together an idea that you do is you're going to do a staffing agency. Mm-hmm. What were some of the obstacles when you did come home? You know, how was it when you came home? Like, what were some of the obstacles that you faced that you had to overcome? How long did it take before you were able to actually, you know, get the staffing agency started, you know?
Well, you know, I started working at a chicken factory, Tip Top Poultry, over in Cobb County. I had to get a little job there to just try to, you know, cause I'm on supervised release, so I got to get a job.
Right.
And so that was one of my, you know, my first jobs that I got. But I started seeing a lot of men getting off vans and coming to the chicken factory every day. And they was working around me, working with me. Otis Nixon, who was my one of my friends went to high school with, he got me the job there at Tip Top Poultry. And I just started seeing a lot of men getting off buses and vans every day and picking them up. And so I'd ask them while I was working, I mean, what do y'all work for? Oh, man, we're in the halfway house, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, we work for them. You know, halfway house brings us here. We work, they pay us a check. We get the halfway house 30% of our check. It was the same prison system as was Unicor. It was crazy.
Right.
And we only make it $7.45 an hour at that time at Tip Top Poultry.
Right.
And you taking 30% of those people, they might as well be back in prison.
Right.
They might be back in Unicor.
Right.
And so I figured it out, and I said, damn. I said, this is what I need to do. I said, I'm going to start a staffing agency. I started thinking about staffing agency. I looked up Ronstadt. Their one office made $10 million just last year alone. And I looked it up, and I did my research and realized that staffing is the third highest grossing business in the world.
Holy cow.
So because there's no limit how many people you could put to work and make a profit off every hour they work. So I made up a plan. I said, I need to hire 300 people like me, ex-offenders, and find them a job. At that time, it was low. I said, if I could just charge a company $15 an hour, and if I could pay them $10 an hour, I make $5 an hour. They work 8 hours a day, that's $40 a day. 5 times $40, 40 times 300, that's $12,000 a day. That's $3.2 million a year. That's just my profit. And they made $10 more than $7 at Tip Top Poultry.
It's a win-win situation.
It was a win-win situation. So, and I put that plan together, did my business plan. I had a young lady that I was dating at the time, and she kind of worked with me and helped me put that business plan together, helped me put my PowerPoint, helped me put my capability statement together. And then I got on the phone and I knocked on doors and sold. I gave people an opportunity to give people in their community that could be their child an opportunity to work.
That's amazing.
That's because there's more people out there like Ricky.
That's amazing. There's no doubt about it. We got a few more minutes, and I want to just shoot a couple words at you, maybe 4 or 5.
Okay.
And just tell me the first thing that comes to mind. Love.
What is love?
Forgiveness.
Can we really forgive or forget?
Freedom.
Me. I'm free inside and out, man.
Nice. Ricky Brown, what's your passion?
My passion is, man, to leave a legacy here. Ironically, I'm 63 years old now, and I have an 11-month-old baby. He'll be 12 months Sunday.
Congratulations.
And so people are tripping out about that. But, I just want to be able to let people know, man, that there's some good in the worst of us. And never look down on yourself and never give up on yourself, because whenever you give up on yourself, you're guaranteeing failure. Failure is guaranteed you're going to fail, whenever you give up. So, my passion is, man, to tell people, don't give up, believe in yourself. If I could go to prison for 13 years and come home and do what I'm doing, I mean, I'm literally a millionaire. I have $1 million contract. I mean, she could tell you that we're doing medical staffing now, so we're getting into a different area of staffing. So we're in a great position, and I did that. And there's more people. I know there's more people smarter than me. If I could do it, they could do it too. So I just want people to believe in themselves and believe that no matter how low you get, don't ever get down there and stay.
No doubt. And last but not least,
yes, keep moving, man.
What is in and out? When I say in and out, what does in and out mean to you?
Well, you got to believe in something on the inside, and then you got to manifest it on the outside. To me, I believe that I could be better than the system, and the system put me into position to set me up for failure. I don't believe in that, because what other people's opinion of me, long as I don't have that opinion of myself, I'm okay with it. You can't make me believe what you believe. And 3 things I don't let bother me is how other people think, act, or feel. Because if I allow those 3 things to bother me, then that means you control me. The warden of the prison that I was in for Talladega now, Carlisle Holder, he runs my Orlando office now.
Wow.
So he ended up being one of my employees. And he'll tell people, hey, man, he was my inmate, but he's now my boss. So nice. Never believe. There's always something in you, man, greater than you even believe, if you just believe in yourself. And so I just believe in just keeping it real, man. I believe in keeping it 100, and hopefully somebody will take my life as an example and believe that it can be done. Don't ever give up.
That is powerful. That is really powerful. And we getting to the end. I want to give you an opportunity. You might have already really said, you've definitely said some really powerful things at the end. But I want to give you just a last, closing words for you to be able to tell people specifically where they can find you, give them your social media addresses. And if you've already given amazing words of encouragement to anyone out there that might be going through something, I want to give you another opportunity to do that. We just got a couple more minutes, but, definitely let them know where they can find you at.
Well, thank you, man, and thank you for having me here. This is probably the first podcast I've ever done. Awesome. You brought some things out of me that I just don't talk about. Okay. And I'm happy that you were able to, to get me to open those doors for me to be able to discuss those things, because I don't get a chance to discuss those things very often, because, people don't realize everybody's got a past. And I just feel that my past just won't determine my future in a good way. And so I just try to make sure, and I want to encourage people, man, people that's out here listening to you guys, man, especially guys and women who have been to prisons, come home, don't give up, create your own job if nobody won't give you one. Because there is some good in the worst of you. Whatever you love to do and whatever you're good at, that's your goal. That's your vision. That's what you should focus on. You're good at and you love to do. I loved radio at the time, and I used that to even be a salesman for my own business. I used to knock on 100 doors before I got one, just to give these guys an opportunity to work. So, I just encourage people, man, to just do what they do. Don't give up on yourself, and never, ever have people to tell you that you can't do it.
That's right. Where can they find you, Ricky?
They can find me at my Instagram is Ricky Brown 777. My Facebook is Ricky Brown. They can just Google me, man. It pops right up. I try not to be as popular. I guess I need some followers on Instagram, because I did it wrong. They said I'm following more people than I have following me. So okay. I need some people to kind of balance that out.
Right.
Because I didn't understand social media.
I don't understand it either.
I didn't understand social media. I just start clicking everybody. If they wanted to request, I say, okay, I thought everybody wanted to be my friend.
Right.
So I just start,
Right.
and it's kind of a triple fit. But, I love social media. I love what you guys do, man, and hopefully that my life and what I've been through will be able to help somebody else along the way.
No doubt, no doubt. I appreciate you. And this is the end, coming to the end once again. Y'all already know what it is. We appreciate you for tuning in to In and Out, INNWW, hosted by Eric Geralt. You heard it from the man himself, the original one, Ricky Brown, the original Doodle Brown. You heard what he said. He is a born leader. He has been certified a leader even by the United States government themselves. They identified him as a leader and they tried to keep him down. And later on, he has teamed up with the people that was keeping him, that was watching over him when he was incarcerated. The former warden of the prison that he was at is now working for him. He has become an ally. You heard what the man said. Never let anyone control what you think, feel about yourself. Never do it. Continue to strive. Continue to be like this brother here. He's one of the real ones. I told you we will only bring real people to you all the time. Once again, we appreciate you for tuning in. And now we're out.